Mosquitoes aren't flying in from the woods. They're hatching in a coffee mug's worth of water, sitting in your own backyard right now. Somewhere on your property, there's water sitting in a saucer under a flower pot, or in the fold of a tarp, or in the bottom of a wheelbarrow you forgot to tip over. That small, forgotten cup of water is the reason you can't sit on your own porch at dusk without getting eaten alive. I'm going to show you how to fix that this weekend, and not with a spray truck, a monthly contract, or a fogger that smells like a chemistry lab and kills every living thing it touches. For about the cost of a single professional treatment, you can clear the mosquitoes off your property and keep them gone. And you can do it without harming a single honeybee, butterfly, songbird, or the dog drinking out of a puddle in the yard. Everything I'm going to tell you is cheap and simple, and most of it has been sitting on a hardware store shelf for 40 years. The only reason you haven't heard it is that nobody makes money telling you, stay with me, and by next weekend the mosquitoes will be gone, and the bees will thank you for it. Before any of this works, you have to understand one thing, because if you get this wrong, nothing else will help you. Mosquitoes don't drift in on the wind, and they don't come from the woods, your neighbor's pond, or the air itself. The mosquito biting you in your backyard almost certainly hatched in your backyard in standing water, and it takes shockingly little of it. A single female lays a couple hundred eggs at a time, and she'll do it in less water than you can cup in your two hands. A clogged gutter. Holding 4 days of rain is plenty, and so is the dish under a potted plant or a bottle cap wedged into a tarp. Let water sit still anywhere on your property for more than 3 or 4 days, and you are running a mosquito nursery whether you know it or not. The first move costs you nothing. Once a week, in the cool of the morning, take a bucket and walk your whole property, tipping out every saucer, every wheelbarrow, every kid's toy, and every sagging tarp that has collected water. The whole round takes about 5 minutes, and that one habit does more than any spray you can buy, because it ends the problem before it ever grows wings. For the water you can't drain, and for pulling in the mosquitoes already hunting your yard, build a simple trap. Take a 5-gallon bucket, a dark one in black, brown, or deep green, never white. Fill it halfway with water and toss in a handful of grass clippings or dead leaves, then let it sit a day or two until it looks murky and stagnant. You're not making a mess, you're building bait. A female mosquito hunting for a place to lay her eggs wants exactly this: the dark, still, slightly rotten water that smells like the natural pools her kind has used for millions of years. A bucket like that becomes the most attractive real estate on your property, and she'll choose it over the hidden puddles you missed. Here is the part that matters. Sprinkle 1 spoonful of something called mosquito bits across the surface, and don't bother to stir or measure, just let it float on top. What's in those bits is a bacterium called BTI, Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis, not a chemical and not a poison in the way you're picturing, but a living thing discovered in the Negev desert in 1977 and found in soil all over the world. Unlike DEET or permethrin, BTY targets only mosquito larvae. When a mosquito larva eats it, the larva dies within a day. The remarkable part is that it only affects mosquito larvae, black fly larvae, and gnat larvae, because their gut chemistry activates it and nothing else's does. It will not touch a bee, a butterfly, a fish, a frog, your dog, or you. This EPA-registered larvicide has been used in Germany's public water for over 40 years, and a $17 tub lasts a family all summer. That bucket is now a place where mosquitoes go to lay eggs that will never hatch. One bucket behind one shed won't clear a half-acre lot, so you want at least 3, one on each side of the house. The rule for placing them is simple. Always away from where you actually live, away from the porch, the table, and the spot where the kids play. You're not decorating, you're pulling the enemy out to the far corners of the yard and letting them lay their eggs where it costs them everything. Tuck each bucket behind a shed, under a hedge, or behind the woodpile, out of your sight, but easy for a mosquito to find. For the spots where a bucket won't go, like a rain barrel, a low ditch that holds water after a storm, or an old stock tank, they sell the same thing in a different shape, called mosquito dunks. They look like small brown donuts, and you just toss one in. Each dunk covers about 100 square feet of standing water and lasts roughly 1 month. The one almost everybody misses is the gutters. If there is any leaf litter up there, they are holding water, and they may be the single biggest hatchery on your property. A spoonful of bits sprinkled straight into the gutter every few weeks shuts that down. The mosquitoes already know your gutters are working against you, and now you do too. The buckets and dunks take care of the eggs and the larvae, but you still have a problem. Right now there are adults out there, hatched last week, hunting for blood so they can lay one more batch before they die. They will not read your mind and fly to the bucket. They will come find you on the porch instead. That means you have to handle the adults too, and you can do it without reaching for anything that hurts a bee. What you want is an essential oil repellent made from real plant extracts like cedarwood, rosemary, lemongrass, clove, and peppermint. These are not perfumes. They are concentrated compounds that people have used to drive off insects for thousands of years, and you can buy them pre-mixed at any hardware store. Skip the bottle that screws onto your garden hose because it sprays too fine and empties too fast. Spend $40 on a pump-up garden sprayer instead, and it will outlive you. The trick most people get wrong is spraying the open air, where the oils evaporate in minutes and the work is wasted. Instead, spray where mosquitoes rest during the day, on the cool, shaded undersides of leaves in your shrubs and hedges, the eaves of the porch, the lattice, the back of the woodpile, and the underside of the deck. Hit their hiding spots in one slow afternoon pass, and you take out the whole adult population at once. Leave one thing alone, and that is any flower in bloom. The oils will not kill a honeybee, but they will tell her to feed somewhere else, which is the opposite of what you want. Treat everything except the blossoms, and the spray holds for 2 or 3 weeks, though after a hard rain you will want to do it again. 2 more things, and they cost almost nothing. The first one you can do tonight. Take a small ceramic dish or an old tin can, set a piece of charcoal in the bottom, and pile on a handful of dried herbs from the kitchen, like rosemary, sage, and a little lavender. Light the charcoal and let the herbs smolder rather than flame. That smoke keeps mosquitoes out of about a 10-foot circle for as long as it is going, and it smells less like bug spray and more like a kitchen at the holidays. It will not bother your bees either, since they are already tucked in the hive for the night. The second runs bigger than any single trick, because a yard that's alive is a yard where mosquitoes struggle. Dragonflies eat them by the hundreds, bats work the night shift, and songbirds and frogs all take their share. The more you turn your property into a place those creatures want to live, with a little water feature for the birds, a martin house up on a tall pole, and fewer chemicals across the board, the more the whole system starts fighting mosquitoes on your behalf. I'll be honest with you, A purple martin won't eat 2,000 mosquitoes a day, like the stories claim. What a living, balanced yard does is make sure the mosquito never gets a foothold in the first place, so you stop fighting nature and let it do the heavy lifting. Let me leave you with the part that matters most. Mosquitoes kill more people every year than any other animal on Earth. Not sharks and not snakes, but mosquitoes. Culex mosquitoes carry West Nile virus, which has reached nearly every state now, while Aedes species spread Zika virus and dengue fever in other parts of the world. This is about much more than an itchy welt on your arm, and it's worth taking seriously. The way most folks are told to handle it, by calling the company, signing the contract, and letting a truck fog the yard once a month, uses something that kills nearly every insect it lands on. Our bees are already in trouble, facing colony collapse disorder and threats like varroa mites for 20 years, and you cannot kill the pest with the wrong tool without killing the helper right alongside it. Everything I've shown you today does the opposite, because the bits, the dunks, the oils, the smudge, and the weekly walk harm nothing but the mosquito. Here is your weekend. On Saturday morning, walk the property with a bucket and dump every bit of standing water you find, and that part costs nothing. Set out 3 dark buckets in hidden corners with a spoonful of bits in each. Then drop a dunk in the rain barrel and treat the gutters. If you've got a free afternoon, mix up a pump sprayer and hit the shady resting spots. The whole setup runs about $60 the first time and less than $30 a season after that. By next Saturday evening, you'll be sitting on your porch in the cool of the day with no mosquitoes coming for you and your bees still working the flowers right up until dark. If you do this, tell me where you live and how bad your mosquitoes are right now. I read every comment, and I want to know how that first bucket goes.